drive kick-started today at a rough patch with states running low on vaccine doses. Above 18 years old were turned away from vaccination centres due to shortage of vaccines. Authorities in Karnataka, West Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Madhya Pradesh states that rollout would be delayed until fresh vaccine stocks arrive. Let's take a listen.
India's Vaccine for All drive kicked off on Saturday, but it was a damn squib. Vaccine shortage reported from many states. The ambitious Vaccine for All drive caught in bottlenecks. People in NCR region complained of glitches in the CoWIN portal as they were unable to register themselves.
The teething troubles are going to remain for this vaccination program, as several state governments have also admitted that they do not have the required number of jabs available to cater to the entire population above 18 years of age.
Delhi government has now assured that they have received 4.5 lakh vaccine doses and will start the drive on Monday.
हमारे पास ऑलरेडी 4.5 लाख वैक्सीन्स आ गई हैं और उनको अब सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं। परसों सुबह से अब बड़े स्केल के ऊपर वैक्सीनेशन दिल्ली में शुरू हो जाएगा।
In Maharashtra's Baramati, hundreds of jab seekers had to return without being inoculated.
देखिए, जो वैक्सीनेशन का मैनेजमेंट केंद्र सरकार का था वो कहीं ना कहीं बहुत बड़ा फेलियर था। किस राज्य को कितनी देना चाहिए, उसकी क्या संख्या होना चाहिए और वो जो चेन होती है वैक्सीनेशन करने की वो टूटना नहीं चाहिए। ये भी जवाबदारी केंद्र सरकार को देखनी चाहिए थी, क्योंकि वहीं से वैक्सीनेशन सारे राज्य को मिल रही है और राज्य उसको दे रहे हैं। तो उन्होंने मैनेजमेंट अगर सही किया तो इतना बड़ा डिजास्टर नहीं होता।
District Women Hospital in Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi had no safety protocols in place. The vaccine center was ill-equipped and social distancing went for a toss. The youth crowded the center in large numbers and the elderly were turned away. Haryana's Rohtak is yet to receive 50 lakh doses it had ordered. The above 18 are now staring at a long delay.
अभी ये थोड़ा पोस्टपोन कर दिया गया है और इसका कारण है कि हमें स्टेट से जो वैक्सीन मिलती है अभी तक हमारे पास वैक्सीन नहीं आई है उन लोगों को लगाने के लिए। अभी उम्मीद है हफ्ता 10 दिन तक ये या अगले हफ्ते तक ये काम हो जाना चाहिए।
Similar situation was seen in Punjab's Ludhiana. People had to return without getting the jab.
स्टॉक बोल रहे हैं खत्म है जी, स्टॉक नहीं है। पहले एक लग चुका है जी, हाँ जी, दूसरा लगवाना था तो आज आए देखा तो यहाँ इंजेक्शन नहीं, स्टॉक नहीं।
While India is reeling under a massive surge of COVID cases, it is crucial that the country's population is vaccinated to break the chain. But vaccine crunch is now snowballing into a major crisis. With Anisha Mathur in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
In a big boost to India's third phase of its vaccination drive, the first lot of Sputnik V from Russia has landed into Hyderabad. 150,000 doses have arrived, with another 3 million doses scheduled to arrive later this month. Sputnik V is one of the 3 vaccines, other than Pfizer and Moderna, to have 90% efficacy rate against the coronavirus. The preventive vaccine doses will be distributed by Dr. Reddy's laboratories. Earlier today, I spoke with Kirill Dmitriev, the CEO of Russian Direct Investment Fund, on the firm behind development of Sputnik V vaccine. Here's what really he had to say. Russia has now come out with a helping hand. Will be supplying 3 more million doses of the Sputnik V in due course of time. Do take us through the arrangement that you have with India right now.
Well, first of all, we are very happy that the first shipment arrived on the day of the mass vaccination in India. And of course, it's just a first shipment of many to come. And Sputnik V is really a Russian-Indian vaccine. And we really have built it in partnership with Indian scientists, with Indian production companies. And a big part of Sputnik V will be produced in India. So we are very proud that we can be with India at this challenging times. And we definitely are ramping up manufacturing of Sputnik V in India as well. We believe that starting from the end of next month, some production will already be happening in large quantities in India. So we are happy to be one of the 3 vaccines approved in India with very high efficacy, with very high safety, really working together to fight the virus with Indian people.
After Pfizer and Moderna, Sputnik V is said to have about 90% efficacy. Could you really explain to us exactly why this has a high percentage of efficacy rate? We believe there are 2 vaccines. One is the preventive and one is to cure.
Yes, so there is a very interesting detail about Sputnik V. Sputnik V is a cocktail of 2 different shots. And because we use 2 different shots, we have very high efficacy. And actually in the Lancet magazine, the efficacy was 91.6%. But when we started using it in Russia, on 3.8 million people, the vaccine showed efficacy of 97.6%. So we believe it's one of the most efficient vaccine in the world. We also showed high efficacy against different mutations, and we will soon release data on Sputnik that shows it's one of the best in the world in fighting mutations. And another point is safety. So if you look at reports from Mexico, Argentina, Hungary, countries that compare vaccines, you have Sputnik V as showing by far the least any of the side effects and being with one of the safest profiles. So it's a combination of safety and efficacy, but really, as I said, it's built in big partnership with India because clinical trials were done in India, and we really call it Russian-Indian vaccine.
May 1st is when the intention was to start inoculating all the population, the adult population in India. But as we can see here, there is a gap, huge gap in the intention versus reality. Not only does the phase 3 of India's vaccination drive seem a tall order here, the existing pace of vaccination has seriously slowed down. Sneha Murdani explains to us.
Death and disease, the reality of India. The government wanting to stem the surge by vaccination. But in spite of India rushing to vaccinate more, what is clear is that the inoculation for many will be a tall order. In spite of increasing infections and deaths in the young, the phase 3 of the drive has failed to take off from the 1st of May onwards. Which means that in spite of the registrations the government has been boasting of, the appointments are yet to be given. The doses to be procured directly by the state governments from the vaccine companies has been a tall order given the limitations on production. State after state, Gujarat, Delhi, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Punjab, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, all of them have said the drive for those above the age of 18 will not start from the 1st of May onwards. Experts say this is a major setback.
I think we delayed scaling out manufacturing. We didn't proceed on a war footing, and it's very sad that we're going to have to suffer tremendously because of it.
The government says those able to procure doses can start inoculating those above the age of 18, but the doses procured from the central pool can be used only for priority groups, the vaccination for which has slowed down. Consider this. Even as India is beginning its 3rd phase of COVID-19 vaccination, the daily jabs continue to fall and are currently at 2.4 million, a 35% fall from its peak. Only 2.7% of adults are fully vaccinated and 12.9% have been given a single dose. 7.5 million doses every single day should be administered to cover the entire adult population in India. This against the current 2.4 million doses, by which only 30% of Indians will be vaccinated by the end of this year. At the current rate, experts say it's going to take up to 2 years for India to inoculate its entire population. The hope now really is that we get more doses of different vaccines. For example, the attempt should be to procure more doses from Russia as far as Sputnik V is concerned and ramp up our own production, given that 6 companies will be manufacturing Sputnik V in India. India has also opened up its doors to other vaccines like Johnson's, for example, and has said clearances will be given at a record time. Only when there is more vaccination can things then start to look up. In New Delhi, Sneha Murdani for India Today.
As people battle against the second wave of COVID-19, oxygen concentrators are now the most sought after machine. With the information overload and multiplicity of oxygen concentrators in the market. One can really easily be confused here. In race against time, to save a life, it is important to know the machine and the pick what is most reliable by following some of the basic rules. Let's take a look.
Oxygen concentrators are suddenly the most sought-after medical equipment in India. But before you rush to the market to procure one, it will be worth your while to check a few things.
The demand for oxygen concentrators is skyrocketed. It is important to follow guidelines and the do's and don'ts while you buy an oxygen concentrator. We are joined by Dr. Gautam Sehgal, and in this live demo, you will see what an oxygen concentrator can do, what are the machines that are available in the market. So let me introduce you. This is an ultra-portable oxygen concentrator. This one is a portable one. You can see it has 4 wheels. You can move it from one room to the other, and this one is a jumbo machine.
Oxygen concentrators are electrically powered machines that draw air from one's surroundings and produce concentrated oxygen of 90% purity levels. They come in various shapes and sizes, but what could be ideal for your home is the one that is ultra portable, is a 5-liter machine, portable or non-portable, or a 10-liter machine. The ultra portable machine weighs a little over 3 kilograms, is easily carried and comes with a rechargeable battery that can run for 4 hours. You can drive around with this machine, and it can even be charged in your car just like a mobile phone.
This is a 5-liter machine which is basically made for travel, and it gives you 5 liters of oxygen per minute. It is charged and has a charge of 4 hours, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the number of liters of oxygen per minute which you give the patient. It comes with a cannula. You put the cannula in the machine, and now the machine is working. The machine needs to be charged for 6 hours before operation, and if you want to use it in the car, you can keep charging it with your cigarette lighter and using the machine.
Always make sure you take an extra cannula for backup. For a more continuous supply of oxygen at home, a 5-liter oxygen concentrator could well be the answer. Arguably, it's the most sought after as it can run up to 16 hours a day with a cool-off period of an hour. It comes with a humidifier and a cannula.
Basically, this machine comes with a bottle, which is called a humidifier bottle. You put some water in it.
Okay.
You and any water, any clean water. You then attach a cannula. A cannula is a plastic tube which delivers oxygen to the nose, and you put the machine on. Once you put the machine on, you decide how much oxygen you want to give the patient, which your doctor can tell you, whether it's 1 liter, 2 liters of oxygen, and you can increase the oxygen up to 5 liters. How do you know the machine is working? First of all, there are no alarms going off, and second, there is bubbles forming in the water.
The third type of oxygen concentrator is the costliest, but it can supply oxygen to 2 patients at the same time.
This is a Chinese model which basically has two patients at the same time can get oxygen. So you have 2 water bottles, 2 separate flow meters, and you have 2 separate cannulas. As you can see, there is water already bubbling. You will take the cannula and attach it to the bottle, and
Given a minimum thing, so there should be a minimum amount of water.
You want to have a minimum amount of water. You don't want to fill it more than the max, because then the effectiveness of the machine goes down.
All right.
And then you decide on how much oxygen. If one patient needs 2 liters, he's on 2 liters. If the second patient needs 5 liters, 4 liters, then you put him on 4 liters.
The machine serves 2 patients at a time and has 2 humidifiers, 2 flow meters and 2 cannulas. Remember, a mask is a mask for flow rate of above 5 LMP. The features include big size OC, which has a capacity of 10 liter oxygen per minute. It can be used for 2 people at the same time, 2 humidifiers and a mask. The levels can be regulated with 2 different flow meters. A certified machine ensures purity of 90%. The price ranges from 80,000 to 1,25,000 rupees. While buying one, make sure the machine delivers oxygen purity of 90% or more.
As the dealer is physically present, does he have a shop? Is he or just a fly-by-night operator. Please ask him if he's been in the business for how long, and does he have a service center? The advantage with the big companies is that machines can go to their service centers for repair. The main part in this machine is called a sieve, which compresses the nitrogen and gives you oxygen. That has a life of 4,000 hours. So if you're buying a refurbished machine, you have no idea how long the machine is used, and you cannot check the purity.
Before you invest in an oxygen concentrator, ask your doctor what capacity OC you need, a 5 or a 10-liter one. Make sure the dealer is authentic and experienced, has a service center for backup support. A quick replacement policy is a must. The machine's booklet must ensure minimum 90% oxygen purity. Ask the vendor to conduct the purity check before you buy it. Check if the sieve has a runtime of 4,000 hours. Make sure foreign brands are certified.
Acute scarcity and exponential demand of oxygen has resulted in oxygen concentrators turning out to be those super machines that could well be the solution and the answer for treatment at home. But remember, when you buy, don't indulge in panic buying, exercise caution and follow these checks so that you are not duped. With video journalist Ashwini Helen, this is Mosmi Singh in Delhi for India Today.
At a time when crematoriums are overwhelmed and COVID-19 deaths have become extremely private affairs, members of Tamil Nadu Muslim Munetra Kazhagam are working tirelessly, offering a decent burial and cremation of COVID-19 victims. Let's take a look.
Second wave of COVID-19 is sweeping through India's veins. Hospitals are overwhelmed. Bodies after bodies piling up at crematoriums. COVID-19 deaths have become extremely private affairs. At a time when hardly anyone can participate in the last rites, many times bodies are left unattended. Members of Tamil Nadu Muslim Munetra Kazhagam are working tirelessly, offering a decent burial and cremation of COVID-19 victims.
தமிழ்நாடு முஸ்லீம் நாட்டுக்கழகத்தினுடைய மாவட்ட மருத்துவ சேவை செயலாளர் முகமது ஷபியுல்லா பேசுகிறேங்க. இப்போ பார்த்திங்கன்னா கொரோனா டெத்தில் பார்த்திங்கன்னா ஜிஹெச்சுக்கு போனால் ஒவ்வொரு பாடியும் ரிலீஸ் ஆகிறதுக்கு பார்த்திங்கன்னா குறைஞ்சது வார்டுலேருந்து மார்ச்சுரி வர்றதுக்கு 2 மணி நேரத்துலேருந்து 3 மணி நேரம் ஆயிடுது. மார்ச்சுரி வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் அங்கே ஃபார்மாலிட்டிஸ் இப்போ வெளியூருக்காரங்கன்னா வெளியூருக்கு தர்றதில்லை. இப்போ ஏன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா இங்கே அடக்கம் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இடங்கள் பற்றாக்குறையில் போயிட்டுருக்குது.
The volunteers do not charge for their service, but the cost of PPE kit and burial are borne by the families of the deceased.
போகிறங்காட்டி ஒவ்வொரு கொரோனா பாடி உறவினர்கள்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்தில் இருக்கிறாங்க. ஏன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா இப்போது நைட்டு இறக்குறாங்கன்னா மறாவது நாள் சாயந்தரம் தான் அவங்க கைக்கு பாடி ரிலீஸ் ஆகுது. ஒரு நாள் கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு நாள் வரைக்கும் அந்த கவர்மெண்ட் ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் அந்த பாடியை வச்சு கொடுக்குறாங்க. ஏன்னா அப்போ அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஏற்கனவே கொரோனா இதில் வந்து அவங்க இறந்து குடும்பத்தார் வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்தில் இருக்கும்போது இந்த ஒரு நாள் வைக்கும்போது மேலும் அவங்களுக்கும் தொற்று பரவக்கூடிய சூழ்நிலைகள் ஆகுது.
The group has requested the government to provide them PPE kits and JCB to reduce the cost of burial. Coimbatore Municipal Corporation has come forward to help the group.
We have decided to give the heavy equipments like booklines and JCPs to such organizations. We are also giving PPE kits and other dresses for the people who are involved in cremation of the people who have lost their life due to COVID.
These brave hearts have been aiding the families of the deceased, ensuring that the departed souls at least get a decent goodbye. With Akshaya Nath in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.